Erling Haaland once said that his dream match would be where he took 5 touches and scored 5 goals. A professional striker might need to take more than 5 touches in a game, perhaps way much more than 5. But his goal-scoring prowess after he joined Pep's Manchester Blues has been nothing short of exceptional. Having already scored 15 goals in 10 games, Haaland might even leave Alan Shearer and Andy Cole's 34-goal tally in a Premier League season behind. Besides, Haaland is also the youngest player to get to 20 Champions League goals, and he did that in the fewest number of matches too. But what is it that Haaland does so well that makes him shine a cut above the rest? Let's find out. History and background. It seems as if some of the greatest athletes are born with some innate talent, or at least are surrounded with, in the formative years of their lives. And this is no different in the case of Erling Haaland. Haaland's father Alfie played as a right-back or midfielder in the Premier League for various clubs such as Nottingham Forest, Leeds and Manchester United. The footballing genes, it seems, run in the Haaland family. It is often said that Haaland was involved in a number of different sports as a child. His father got him involved in a number of different sports such as golf, handball, track and field, cross-country skiing, etc. Some reports also claim that Haaland also held the world record in standing long jump for his age when he was merely 5 years old. And the Norwegian handball manager also wanted Haaland to pursue a career in handball. Lucky for the footballing world that Haaland chose football over a number of other sports he might have excelled in. Exceptional build. Erling Haaland stands 6 feet 4 tall. While the tallest of football players might not always be the fastest, this is quite different with Haaland. With long strides that make him gallop, it feels like Haaland is eating up the length of the football pitch, making defenders look almost pedestrian while competing with him. His outstanding frame also means that defenders have difficulty competing with him aerially. He routinely comes out on top while competing for headers, but Haaland is not your typical throw your head at the aerial ball guy. He uses the long reach of his legs to kick a ball, which might be headed. The most glaring example of this was his goal against Borussia Dortmund. When Joao Cancelo fed him an aerial ball, he chose to throw his left foot at the ball, which any other striker might have chosen to head. Insane diet. In order to flex the prowess of his exceptional build, Haaland also focuses heavily on his diet. A Norwegian documentary titled Halland: The Big Decision showed that Manchester City number 9 consumed close to 6,000 calories a day. A large fraction of his calorie intake comes in the form of healthy meat, i.e. cow liver and heart. These are two things that supply good quantities of iron, something that helps prevent anemia. He also gets his water filtrated, which has great benefits for his body. And in order to kickstart the day, he goes out and gets some sunshine. The amount of sunshine you get in the morning helps set the correct circadian rhythm. So Haaland is focusing on every little thing, from the amount of sunlight to the nutrient content of his water, and avoiding restaurant meat like that of McDonald's. Training routine. Well, your background, build, and diet is not going to take you so far if you don't train well enough, and Haaland is someone who trains really hard. One of the most obvious examples of the amount of his dedication was that he put in an extra number of hours to improve the number of goals he was scoring with his weaker right foot. Former Bayern Munich striker and winner of the Champions League, Alexander Zickler, was someone who helped Haaland get better, as Zickler was the assistant coach for Borussia in the final year that Haaland was there. Even before that, Haaland trained with Lucas Krul, someone who was the personal trainer of other footballing stars such as Thiago Alcantara, David Luiz, and Douglas Costa. Under Krul, Haaland also exercised with zero equipment and worked on the full body, something that helped him enhance his performance even while players were struggling to keep good fitness during the pandemic. Haaland is also seen to be taking ice baths after training with Manchester City, something that has improved his muscle fitness. During his spell at Dortmund, he was once out for a streak of 7 matches due to muscle injury, something that he hopes to work on this season and not miss out on as many games. Movement. Have you ever noticed that the ball on a football pitch always seems to be almost magnetically attracted to the greatest strikers of the game? From the Brazilian Ronaldo phenomenon to Cristiano and now to Haaland? This is down to their strikers' instincts and the movements they make. Haaland relies on positioning himself on the blind side of the pitch, an area where the defender can't see the ball and the striker simultaneously. Whenever he is in the blind spot, Haaland often attacks the free space between the center back and fullback and makes a run that is more or less curved. Coupled with the fact that Haaland is also someone who constantly stays onside and behind the defensive lines, it is difficult for defenders to track him. It also goes without saying that Haaland is someone who can shield off defenders with his huge frame really well, giving him the space as well as the opportunity to fire his shots away. Efficiency over aggression. There is consummate ease with which Haaland scores his goals, and he is not predictable. He can score long rangers and is there for the tap-ins as well. Haaland seems to focus more on placing the ball in the right slot rather than firing it in. You can see that even when the shots are fired at a height of keeper's chest and above, there is a controlled measure that Haaland takes to make sure that the ball doesn't balloon over the post. This is another reason why his conversion rate of 1.6 goals per 90 minutes during this Premier League campaign is a staggeringly efficient stat. Haaland is on the way to becoming a generational talent. Yes, there is his natural ability without which he couldn't possibly have scored 9 goals in a game in a match contested against Honduras. And there is also the fact that Dortmund and Manchester City are teams with exceptional players that propel Haaland to greater heights. But there are the smallest of details he works on, from his focus to eat better and recover a lot quicker with ice baths. A man of few words, Haaland, when once asked about how he was able to put out such incredible performances during his time at Dortmund, quite simply said, hard work. And that, put together with the confidence with which City plays and Haaland himself has, makes him so unbelievably good.